Hello and welcome again to another episode of Battle Ready. And today, we thought it's been about a year, and we thought we would talk about Warhammer Plus Year 2.
Yes.
So
I'm pressing it.
The question I want to answer by the end is it worth it? Because we did one of these at the end of year 1, and my answer was kinda.
I said
worth
yes.
It. Drake said yes. We did end up keeping it, so I guess it was worth it enough for us to keep going with it. And so we thought we'd talk about what came out this year. Now, obviously, if you've never watched anything before, you can sign up now and get basically all this stuff, right? You can watch everything that came out in the first year, everything that came out in the second year. So you have to keep that in mind. But just over the last year, did we feel like we got our money's worth? What I feel like we got our money's worth, because it's my money. Let's do it.
I feel like I got my time's worth.
Yeah, your time's worth. So let's talk about some of the things. So the thing that is most important to me, let's talk about that first, are the animations. That's really the big selling point for Warhammer for me. So I was looking at it. Unfortunately, the Warhammer Plus doesn't say when the animations came out. So I'm not exactly sure on the numbers, but we've had about 5-ish Hammer and Bolters. We have had the animation Iron Within. We had Interrogator, which was 9 episodes.
Yep.
We had Black Talon, which was 6 episodes.
And then we've had a million battle reports.
So those animations first. Yep. We'll get to battle reports and stuff. So you look at all that together, and that's, let's see, Iron Within. Iron Within was a long one, but probably should have been chopped up into 3.
You could see when it was supposed to be chopped.
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think Origins came out, right?
Yes. Angels of Death Origins.
Angels of Death Origins. Is that like 3 episodes? Do you remember what that is?
I think it's been 3 Origins episodes.
Okay.
I
so
never
you
got to the
sort
second
of
one.
smash all that together, and you're looking at like
5-ish hours?
5 to 6 hours of animation, which is good. I think that's more than the first year.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And that's not even counting Black Talon or... Wait, are you counting Black Talon in there?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Because the first year only had Angels of Death, which was great.
Oh yeah, super good.
The Exodite, which was...
I didn't understand what was happening.
It was okay. It was fine. It was fine. There's nothing wrong with it, Exodite. And then it had many Hammers and Bolters. Probably 8-ish, 9-ish.
9. It had 9.
And then there's been...
Because they do them in bricks of 3.
They used to.
Oh, they don't anymore.
They don't anymore. So then the new one, we've got not quite as many Hammers and Bolters, but that has been added on by
Black Talon.
Origins, Black Talon, and Interrogator.
So I think it evens out.
Of those, Hammers and Bolters, Black Talon, Interrogator, and Origin, which one was your least favorite? Actually, let's just rank them. Let's rank them. What's your favorite?
Black Talon first.
Okay.
I would put... I haven't seen it. I would put Hammer and Bolter next.
Okay.
I would put Interrogator third and Origins fourth.
Okay, so let's start with Origins then. So how did you feel about Origins? Good or overall, good or bad?
Overall good. They're all just so good that that one's just the least good of them.
Yeah, actually, I totally agree. I think all the animations have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, they're not... Okay, obviously it's not like some kind of big Hollywood blockbuster, right? It is an animation. It is a sort of a normal budget sort of thing. Yeah. But stories are pretty fun. The animation quality is fine. Getting those stories in the mortal realms or in
40K.
What do you call? Does the 40K universe have a word? I don't know. In the 40K, in the 41st millennium, maybe.
Yes.
That has been really fun. It's been really cool to see some of these characters really brought to life.
Yeah.
So I think all of them have been positive. What did you like or dislike about Origins?
I only ever really saw the first one.
Oh yeah.
But
you should watch the rest. They're all good.
I've been too busy with battle reports.
So Origins is pretty good. Basically, if you watched Angels of Death, it starts with them already sort of in trouble. The captain's gone down to the planet and gotten lost, and so they send another group down to find him, and the story progresses from there. Origin is the story of how they got there, what took the captain down to the planet and what sort of his experience was aside, away from the other Blood Angels. It is pretty fun, and one of the things I liked about it is it features a Adeptus Mechanicus guy,
Yes.
Cassius Theta 9, I think.
Yes.
And one of the things I really liked about it is it's very clear that I think it's a she.
Yeah, it is a she.
That she wants to help. She's on their team. She wants to help. She wants their help in doing some things, but she's like an ally. It's very clear she's an ally. But at the same time,
they don't trust her.
She's very cold.
Yes.
Right? She doesn't show any concern for them. She doesn't show any happiness for them. She doesn't show any, she's just very matter of fact. Here's what I want. Here's what you need to do for me. Here's what we're going to do.
And here are the cold hard facts.
And she, especially in Origins, you learn that she doesn't have a problem using people to get what she wants and using them in some pretty dark ways. So that was pretty fun. It's once again, unlike the Mortal Realms, the 41st Millennium, like everybody's bad.
Oh yeah.
Like, everybody's bad. Everybody's a villain in different ways. And so it was sort of cool to see that exemplified where you have this person who should be
a good guy
on your team, right? Who should be a good guy. But it's like, no, this is not a good person. This is someone doing bad things.
It's worse than Sigmar. And Sigmar, or Age of Sigmar, the supposed good guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, in Age of Sigmar, you've got the Stormcast, which are
generally
pretty much good guys. I mean, you have things like...
You have every odd storm.
The Knights Excelsior, or is it the Celestial Vindicators? I don't know. The ones that were like purging their city. Yeah. So there's stories like that. But in general, like Hammers of Sigmar and Hallowed Knights, they're like...
Those are the two best ones.
They're like good guys, right? They're protagonists. They're good guys. But in 40K, that's not...
The Space Marines, who are the good guys, are actually pretty jerk.
They're relatable because they're human-ish.
Yeah.
But they're not good guys.
No.
All right. So then next up was Interrogator. How'd you feel about Interrogator?
Interrogator was cool because it featured a Psyker.
Interrogator was cool. So I really liked it because it wasn't galaxy-spanning conflict, right? Yeah. It's not like we're on the battlefield fighting the Tyranids, or we've got to get through this with our war machines to defeat the Tau, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It was one guy or two guys, a handful of characters in a hive city trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. I liked that it was way more grounded. I liked that the character was a little bit more developed. I mean, all Warhammer characters are a little on the wooden side. They're all a little one-dimensional. But he was a little bit more developed. You got to see his backstory sort of unfold as it went. I thought Interrogator was pretty fun. Yeah. I really liked it. All right, next up was their Hammer and Bolters. What do you think of the Hammers and Bolters?
The Hammers and Bolters are always fun.
Yeah, there have been very few bad ones. I don't think any bad ones this year, actually.
Yeah.
I think this year started, and I could be wrong.
With a new life. I think that's
I think it actually started with the one with Hamilcar Bear Eater. I think that was this year.
Yeah. Yes. Started with Hamilcar.
Because the one before that was Plague Song. I think that was at the end of last year. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Like I said, they don't have the dates of when they premiered. But Hamilcar Bear Eater, super fun. That was the first Hammer and Bolter in the Mortal Realms, right?
Which I liked. I was happy.
And he's out there. He's got this bravado, but he's also got a plan. And the orcs were really fun, right?
Yeah.
It's just really cool.
It was also the first one to show a Cruel Boy.
Yep.
It showed a Cruel Boy.
Yep.
Still a Bone Splitters.
Yeah, I think Games Workshop forgot about Bone Splitters.
I know. It makes me a little sad.
Then they've got the Callus and Toll, also in the Mortal Realms. That was pretty fun. Yeah. Then there were a couple from 40K. There was New Life, which is about guys trying to get off a planet. It's got a great ending.
I didn't. The ending did not make sense to me.
I'll explain. And then what was the most recent one?
The most recent one was, I'm pretty sure it was in 40K.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, the World Eaters guys.
No, it was the Emperor's Children.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that was pretty cool because now for us who are not steeped in 40K, we don't know the lore so good, but it was good to see how Slaaneshi warriors go about things. It was really cool, really interesting. You could port that same story over to Age of Sigmar. You take the guns away, and you got the same story. You could do the exact same story. So it was very, very cool. And then finally, my favorite too, is Black Talon.
Oh yeah.
What'd you think of Black Talon?
Black Talon was interesting.
Why?
It wasn't just Stormcast punch bad guys.
Yeah, there was a lot more to it than that. Sometimes the Stormcasts are sort of just
one sword.
They're sort of like cutouts for here's a good guy to punch the bad guy.
Yeah.
And Black Talon had a little bit more complication.
Yep.
And as it goes in Black Talon, you see at least one of the guys doing something that's a little
iffy.
Yeah, a little iffy. What's interesting about it, though, is you can see from his perspective why it's still the right thing to do.
Yeah, but it's sad.
From Neve's perspective, it's probably not the right thing to do.
Or it's probably not the nice thing to do. Or like
certainly not the nice
cool
thing to do. So that was really interesting. I like that it gave a little bit more complexity to the Stormcast. I like that it delved in. Part of it, she's trying to recover who she was. She's been reforged too many times. She can't remember who she was.
She has Thunderstrike.
She has a Thunderstrike armor.
So, does that mean we're getting a new Neve model?
Maybe we'll have to see how those the Harbingers progress.
Maybe that's the model of the year for AOS, either Thunderstrike Neve or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Or the 40k, the one Slaneshi 40k guy.
That guy would be cool.
But Neve.
So I thought the animations were really a step up this year in quality and maybe a little bit in quantity too. I still feel like they could do more. And when I say they could do more, I don't mean that they have capacity to do more. Maybe they're like churning these things out as fast as they can. I'm not trying to fault them for that. But I just feel like, gosh, I would love to see animations more regularly. There's 52 weeks in a year. I would love to see at least 25, 26 of them have an animation. And right now we're closer to like
10?
We're in the teens, probably. We're in the teens. And it's fine. It's not so low that I feel like it's not worth it. But it's also not so high that I feel very satisfied. I feel like, I look every week to see what's coming on Warhammer Plus, and there are just way more weeks that I'm disappointed because there's no animation than weeks that I get real jazzed because something's coming.
Yeah.
So, all right. We also got mini battle reports. Drake loves the battle reports.
Oh, yeah.
He's been watching. He likes them and watches them way more than I do. What do you like about the battle reports?
I like, one, they seem impossibly short. Don't worry, they're under an hour each.
Oh, that's because, so they are all under an hour, usually like half hour to 45 minutes right in there. And that's because they just delete large chunks. Like when we do our battle reports, we keep all the stuff in, right? All the rolling for the combats, all the shooting, hero phase stuff, we keep that all in. And what they do is they cut it down to just like the parts where people die or the parts where a big roll was made. And then after that, they'll cut away and they'll be like, and then I killed a bunch of guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next phase. So they do that for sure. They are shorter.
Yeah. Another thing I like is that they encompass a lot of armies that we do not have. So I get to see how other armies play.
That is nice. Being the manufacturer, they do have access to every army.
Every model.
So that's cool. I think I've watched a couple of the battle reports. I think they're fine. I don't watch a lot of battle reports generally, and the Games Workshop ones, I watch them only when it's, I don't know, something that I haven't seen before. Like when, we're sort of interested in Combat Patrol. So when there was a Combat Patrol one, I did watch that. There's
been a couple now.
Sort of got interested in Middle Earth Strategy Battle Game. More to come on that.
Yeah.
And so I watched there's 2 battle reports on that game. So I watched those to sort of get a sense of, were we playing it right, or how does this go about?
Were we playing it right?
Yeah. So, they're fine. Not my cup of tea generally, but they're fine. What about Lore Masters?
Lore Masters, at first, it was like, especially in AOS, it was like, here's some extra tidbits that you didn't know from just the Battle Tome.
Gosh, I feel like, towards the end of the first year and into the second year, the Lore Master was just terrible. I mean, basically, it just read the Battle Tome to you. It's,
I could some things I didn't know or read over and just didn't acknowledge in the Battle Tome. But if I've read the Battle Tome 2-3 times over, and gotten a good sense of what it says. I think maybe once I could pick out a sentence that was literally straight from the battle, from the tome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially like they would do Caradron Overlords. Here's the Caradron Overlords. Here's some of their units, just like in the Battle Tome. Here's their different sub-factions, just like in the Battle Tome. It's like, I have the Battle Tome. I don't need this. So, but recently they've gotten a little bit better. They went into the history, the whole history of the Ultramarines. It's pretty cool. They did the history of the Tyrannic Wars, which are all the wars that the Space Marines have fought against the Tyranids, which is cool because now for a veteran 40K player, you might know all that stuff already. But at least what they're doing, and what I would love to see more of, is they're pulling different things together. They're like, what we're going to do is get information. Here's a little bit from the Battle Tome. Here's a little bit from this book series. Here's a little bit from a White Dwarf. Here's a little bit from the last narrative, the Fall of Cadia or whatever. And then they put that whole thing into a cohesive package. That's what lore masters should do. They shouldn't just say, hey, if you bought this one thing, a Battle Tome, you already know all this. They should say, hey, maybe you already have the Battle Tome, but here's how we fill in the rest. And I really like that. So I've really appreciated some of the more recent stuff that's been in Lore Masters. There hasn't been a lot of Lore Masters lately, but I have enjoyed what's been there. And the other thing that I think they stopped doing, I mean, I haven't seen one in many, many, many months, is the Masterclass, the painting one.
Yeah.
I wonder why. I like that. Now, they paint at a level way above what I am interested in. And so I just
look to see what they do.
I think it's cool to watch them do this thing. And I have gotten some ideas, like when they did heat effects on gun barrels. That was really cool, like on Meltas and stuff. And that's something I might try a little bit the next time I'm doing something like that. Yeah. But yeah. But in general, I like watching them, but they haven't had them in a while. So that pretty much sums up what Warhammer Plus gets you. I mean, you also get the voucher, you also get the free mini, free. You pay for it because you pay for Warhammer Plus, but you also get a couple of other things.
Depends on what is free, the free mini or the free animations.
If you're just looking at the price versus the stuff you get on the television, right? Because you also get access to back White Dwarfs, although I feel like...
I don't know how to get to those.
It's a separate website, the Warhammer Vault. But I feel like they've sort of mined that out. Because now they're way back to issues that predate Age of Sigmar. So for us, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care when you add that issue of White Dwarf.
Yeah.
Right. But so what you get when you're actually on Warhammer Plus, is it worth it?
I say yes.
You say yes?
I still say yes, for sure.
I am upgrading. So like I said last time, I thought I was like really on the fence, and ultimately we decided to stay. This time, instead of saying I'm on the fence, I'm saying
nearest the fence.
I'm 2 steps over. So by which I mean I think it is worth it. I'm not super enthusiastic though yet. Now maybe this year coming up will be even better. Maybe they'll have animations, every other week,
every second.
Like I'm asking, and then I'll be, ecstatic. But as it is it worth it? Yes. Is it the bestest, most brilliant thing ever?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think if you're choosing, you're like, oh, I only have so many dollars in my hobby budget. I can either get Warhammer Plus or I can get a bunch of new models. And probably new models. Especially if you're going to play with those models or you enjoy painting and you're going to paint those models up, right? If it's just going to sit in your pile of shame, this might not apply. But if you have something that you're really going to work on, that might be the better use of your money. But if you have room in the budget for it, it's pretty good. Like if it was between that and some crazy like Super Blasto 5000 magnifying glass or different paint handles or there's lots of hobby gimmicky stuff out there. You could save your money on a lot of that and get Warhammer Plus instead, and you'd be better served.
Yeah.
So while it's not an enthusiastic thumbs up, I think we're trending in the right direction. I think it is a thumbs up. And for us, at least, it's worth it. Now, maybe you don't care about the animations, or maybe you don't care about 40K at all. So you're just judging it on Age of Sigmar content alone. Or, so you're going to have to make the decision for yourself. Yeah. Maybe for you, it's still not worth it. And that's perfectly fine. But I think for us, the answer is, yeah.
Me is 100% yes.
Yeah, well, that's because it's free for you. If it was free, it would have for sure be worth it.
No,
But
even
since
even if I had to pay for it, yeah.
you don't have any money, how are you gonna pay for it?
I almost have enough to buy Gorge Rack,
That's true.
sir.
But don't spend that on Board Track. Don't spend that on Warhammer Plus. So yeah. So overall, I think it is getting better. It's not where I would want it to be, but it is far enough along that I feel comfortable that unless something crazy happens, if they keep it around for another year, I will probably subscribe again. Final Warhammer Plus thoughts?
I think we got it all.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully this has been helpful. If you've been on the fence about it, now might be a better time to get in. If you haven't jumped in and don't want to, let us know in the comments. I'd love to get that perspective. If you've jumped in and then jumped out, let us know that too. If you're, if you've been a member since day one, let us know that too and how you feel about it. Do you feel like you're getting your money's worth and appreciating the service? All right, this has been another episode of Battle Ready.
We're ready!
Thanks so much for watching.